Alrighty.
Yeah, you keep saying things like that, you're liable to get us banned.
Probably. I know. Alrighty then.
Oh, it's live.
Okay. I'm good. You good? You ready to roll?
Well, my name is Goody, so.
All right, let's roll this beautiful bean footage. Thanks for joining us tonight for issue number 31 of the show, where it is our mission to collect news and reviews in a world of geek culture for you to enjoy. I'm Simon.
And I'm Goody.
And we have both had a very long day. Yes, we have. That's why we're running a little behind. Very little, though. We've done pretty good, I think.
Poquito.
Yeah, so, but speaking of bad days, and I think one of the best lines in that Rocky film is, "I will break you."
I will break you.
Yeah, I mean, which brings us to our first story of the night, Ivan Drago, possibly to return for Creed 2. What do you think about this?
Not all that interested, to be honest.
No? Okay.
I didn't. I only watched part of the first Creed. I never finished it. Wasn't all that interested in it. So yeah, I might watch it if they do it. Other than that, I won't watch Creed 2.
Okay. It's interesting because I was looking at that picture, that the official Slice Stallone Instagram put out.
Yeah.
Where it's Creed and Ivan and then Stallone in the back, and the credits underneath says, here's a chance to stretch your imagination. History will always repeat itself in one form or another. Just got to be ready. Sins of the Father. That's kind of cool. I like that.
It's Creed's son, maybe.
Yes.
Sorry, I said that wrong.
Yes. That's why I gave you a look. You mean Drago's?
I know, I saw it. Drago's son. Oh my gosh.
That would be interesting. And I wonder how they'll play this. But it would be kind of cool. I don't know. I did not see the first one yet. It's in my queue of things to watch, and I have not gotten there. But I think it would be kind of interesting to go here already at this point and really continue this in the boxing ring. So I don't know. I'm like you. I will eventually see it if they do this, but I won't go to the theater.
No, I'll see it probably when it comes out on cable. But I won't. I definitely will not pay money to go to the theater and see it.
Yeah, I won't either. So
I think the whole Rocky series has run its course, to be honest. So
yeah, I agree with that too.
I'm sure Shark is going to have something to say about this. Kind of like the Fast and Furious series too.
I stopped at 2.
Oh, okay.
How many are they on now? 8?
8.
Yeah.
I think they're going for 9.
I'm a little behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. All right, but let's jump on into some.
2? Miami, I think, or something like that too.
Yes. Yeah.
3 was Tokyo Drift, I think.
Tokyo Drift was 3, and I didn't even go there. No thanks. So, okay, so just right around the corner is San Diego Comic-Con. And recently there has been an announcement that the con will actually stay in San Diego until 2021. Are
we surprised?
Now, in a way, I am. Because if you start to look at some of the numbers that are being hit by Salt Lake and New York, San Diego can't go anywhere. They are to capacity. this is one of the biggest conventions. There has been a fight over the last couple of years of who's the best, who's the biggest.
Yeah, it's been the last 3 years, I think.
And it has just been crazy. The rumors had been floating around that it could potentially move to Las Vegas because the Las Vegas Convention Center is massive. And it could accommodate a lot of things. And the fact that Hollywood only has to just go over the hill, really, to get to Las Vegas. But apparently here it depends on a deal that is something going on, because the part of the problem with San Diego too is the hotels jack their prices up big time.
Right.
So when they do that, then, it's unfortunately the hotel chains know people will pay it. So they're going to continue to do that. Like when I went, we were able to use Shark's timeshare, and we'd either stay on the border or we would stay just outside of downtown, which made it much more easier and, less costly. So, typically you're looking at 130 to 140,000 attendees, but New York now is starting to pass that, and so is Salt Lake.
Well, New York did pass it.
That's right. Yes, they did pass it, didn't they? But they were what,
Yeah, they're over 150 now. 151,000.
Right. Yeah. So
they say 130 plus. But even if you go to top 25, conventions in the world, San Diego's 8 in terms of attendance. The top 5 are not even in the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting. And I'm wondering what they're going to do because, San Diego's a hot ticket. Now you have to be on a waiting list. I screwed up last year and should have just bought my ticket even if I wasn't going, so I could have stayed on the waiting list. We're on a waiting list for media. And, I've gone, 6 years, and it just got busier and busier. Now, I remember the first time I went, I was able to buy tickets at the door for that day and then bought a pass for the following year that same day. And now you have to go through this lottery system, and hopefully that you get in the door, that your number gets picked, and that you can buy tickets, and you hope that the system works and all this stuff. It's become a nightmare just trying to get there. Now, there are some really good stuff that come out of there, but there's some good stuff that's starting to come out of these other conventions as well.
Right. Yeah, and you have a lot of other stuff going on at the same time as well. You have Will Wheaton and his buddies who are putting on something every year at the same time, same days. If you look at some of the convention schedule websites, there's more going on during San Diego. You have some weird pirate conventions. They're actually out on the water. It's actually pretty interesting to look at. And of course, a lot of this stuff, some of it, most of it does sell out. Now, I've run into a few people that what they say is what they do is they stay up in Escondido. They get hotels up there, and they just drive down for the day, come back. They said it's a hassle for parking, but they come early. I talked to a guy today that he got his hotel room 7 months ago.
Yeah.
So to lock in a good rate.
Yeah, which is also the reason that we would do the timeshare, because we would get it a year in advance, and then we would know what we'd have to do. So, and then it was interesting because we were at one location and then we moved to another location because they had raised the rates.
Oh, gotcha.
So, but where we ended up staying, it was easy because, we bought our parking. We knew where we were going to park. We would just get down there early enough, depending on certain panels or what we wanted to do for the day, and just get in there and park. And we would always try and park close enough to where our cooler was at the car, so we could walk from the convention center, drop off the stuff that we've picked up, you know, because there's tons of swag, there's tons of, you know, everything going on, things that you're buying, drop it off, have something to eat, have something to drink, and then head back on in to the convention center for the rest of the afternoon. So
now, did you, still on topic but slightly off, did you see the numbers for AnimeCon?
no, I have not seen those yet, because, you know, we did have Hannah and Susanna just go there. If you check out our site, there's a couple of different reviews also here on YouTube. So what were those numbers?
I thought I saw 130.
It's a possibility. I mean, the fact that it took Hannah and Susanna, because Susanna had to actually just buy a ticket, it took her 4 hours to stand in line to get her ticket to get in the door.
Right.
Either shows that there were a massive amount of people, or it just wasn't quite organized the best. And from what their review kind of is telling us is that it may not have been organized very good.
Yeah, it seems like it was pretty massive too. A lot of people showed up.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of people that I was following on like Twitter and Instagram, and man, the crowds were huge.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was ridiculous. But that's what it's like in San Diego. I mean, you can't walk downtown. They shut down streets because there's so many people, because there's stuff going on outside and there's stuff going on inside. Like, even if you don't have tickets to get into San Diego Comic-Con, you can still head down there and have a blast, because there's so many things going on, which is one of the things that I really like about San Diego, because where that convention center is located, there's activities going in several of the hotels. There's stuff going out on the streets. I mean, it's all over. You know, if you go to Las Vegas, you know, I mean, that you don't have to go to the hotels, even though some people really want to. They'll have the room to do all that stuff inside. And it is Vegas, and it is summer. So, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. There are a few things that they need to do, but I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I think it's going to get to the point where they're just going to be capped out, and they're like, we have to move. We can't be here anymore.
Yeah, and, you know, Vegas may or may not work. You probably run into the same issues down there with hotel spiking rates. Which good luck getting all them together saying don't do it. So yeah, it's an interesting quandary here, where if they do not stay in San Diego, where do they go?
Yeah, you know, Anaheim's too small. LA's okay, but it's not my favorite. You know, I know Vegas is wanting it, and that place, I mean, Vegas puts on a lot, and
they do a lot of shows. They do a lot of conventions throughout the year.
Absolutely, and some really big ones. So who knows? Maybe it will end up there, but I mean, we still have a couple of years to figure out where it's going to be and what it's going to be. So
yeah, it looks like AnimeCon was 115.
That's still pretty good. Yeah. You know, for a holiday weekend. You know, so I think, because I had just done Denver, and I think they were running at about the same number.
Right.
But the official number hasn't been released yet. So as soon as they do that, then I'll have a post up on the site, you know, talking about it. So, all right, let's move on to some movie news. Now, we've talked about this a couple of times. For those of you who don't know, Hellboy is getting rebooted. And I kind of like where it's going. There's a possibility that Hellboy is going to head to Lionsgate. What do you think?
I think if it does, I'm interested. I like who they have picked out to be Hellboy now, Neil Marshall. So, you know, who's going to direct, actually.
Yes.
Not, yeah, I'm so tired. But
That's
it's
all right.
David Harbour, sorry, who's set to be Hellboy, who is from the sheriff from Stranger Things.
Yeah. Yeah, which would be great. And the story that they're going with, Hellboy, Rise of the Blood Queen, is the title. That's what they're looking to do. It is going to be R-rated, as they say. And I this one I'm looking forward to. You can have your Creed too, but Hellboy too. I enjoyed the first two. They were fun, they were entertaining, but now we're going to go that dark and gritty,
Right.
like the books. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see some of the stuff that they pull out of here. So if it ends up on Lionsgate, I'd be pretty pleased. Opposed to them, going through Universal. And then I think there was another one that it was tied to, but I think Lionsgate will be a better home for it.
Yeah, and a lot of the rumors are speculating that is what's going to happen. And I think David, Harbour's going to do a great job of portraying Hellboy. At least, if he brings the same sort of attitude he did like in Stranger Things.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. And I like his style. I like his voice. I think the voice will lend itself. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ron Perlman was pretty cool as Hellboy. I mean, just the face, everything, body, stature.
Good voice for it too.
Mm-hmm. But I think that David will play this quite nicely. He has tweeted out a couple of things where they were doing some molding for some of the prosthetics that he'll wear. And but moving over to Lionsgate, I mean, if you look and see what they have recently done, I mean, John Wick, I mean, those were fantastic movies. So there's the backing behind them. And then let's see what they do.
Punisher, Warzone.
Punisher, yeah. Oh my gosh, when that one came out, man, that was rough. And I mean rough by like gory and gruesome. They showed Punisher punishing people. So it'll be nice too, because if it is at Lionsgate, they have the money to push the film and market it in order to get people to go see it. Because if it ends up being like one of those let's say Deadpool films and people just love it, then it's going to make some good money and we'll see another one. So for me, it's always been, though, give me a good story, and if I've got a good story, then I'm in.
Yeah, build on that.
Yeah, exactly. It's where you got to go. So all right, but speaking of monsters, Hellboy is one, and probably one of the all-time favorite monsters out there is Godzilla. Now, there's a lot of Godzilla going on. There's that Godzilla 2 movie that they're working on. Toho Pictures has just done a Godzilla live-action one, like their old ones, guy in the suit. But now Toho Pictures just released a teaser trailer, and I didn't get to watch this yet, but they released a teaser trailer for Godzilla anime that is going to air on Netflix.
Yeah, the premise behind this is actually pretty interesting. The fact that he's kind of dominated the earth for the past 20,000 years.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this I'm looking forward to this one. And like I said, I haven't even seen the teaser, but yet I'm all in. Because Netflix is about to air Castlevania, okay, anime style. I saw that one, kind of going, I don't know. I'll still watch it. But Godzilla, I mean, come on. This is going to be pretty sweet, So we'll
Gareth
see.
Edwards did a version of this too.
The anime
back in 2014.
Did he?
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Just give me more Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Well, yeah. Oh, duh. That's right. And I enjoyed that one. I'm sorry, I forgot he was the director of that, because you've got that one. Then they've done the King Kong, that Island of Kong or whatever it was called. And then they tease the end of that will be Godzilla versus King Kong. So that's that one. And, you know,
Yeah, you have
Toho.
Godzilla and Monsters, which is what, 2019?
Yeah. Yeah. So that will be fun. But this anime one is going to, I don't know, just keep me interested, give me a little bit. And the fact that it's on Netflix too, I think is pretty awesome.
Yeah, so it should be a good little show.
I think so.
Little
I
movie.
think so. Some of the art that they have put up is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it looks pretty neat.
So I am looking forward to that. So give me more Godzilla. So all right, but let's take a trip, shall we? Let's hop in our little speeders.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
I didn't either. Apparently Alexa wasn't sure about that. That was funny.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what I said for her to turn on. Man, it just must be my voice. But let's head on out to Goody's Guide to the Galaxy. What do you got, Goody?
Woo-hoo! Okay. So only a couple things this week to really of note. Of course, the last several weeks we've been talking about the new Han Solo movie and all the things have been going through. You know, you have the directors being fired by Kathleen Kennedy, an acting coach brought in for Alden, and, you know, of course, the cast complaining to Lucasfilm going, look, this is not going the way it should. So with all the things that have been happening over the past 2 months, and the fact that, you know, little Opie Taylor's brought in to direct, they still say they're going to meet the May release.
Hope so.
If they're saying they're doing what they're doing, I mean, it's, you know, they're doing all these reshoots, and there's another rumor out there that they might actually reshoot most of this movie and replace Alden. I don't foresee this happening. I think they'll probably keep it. I'm hoping and praying for a good final product.
Me too. You know, again, just give me a good story. You know, some of the acting I'm sure will be a little cheesy, and that's okay. But give me a good story.
Yeah, so there looks like the Lego Star Wars, the standalone stuff will come out in, I believe, April 20th. And they're still looking for May 25th, 2018 for the actual movie release. So we'll see. We'll see if they're able to make it happen. I hope so. I mean, Ron Howard is a great director, and he knows how to keep things on track. So
yes, I concur. So here's one thing too. I mean, you've got to think that if products, you know, these Legos and probably all the other toys that they're going to do, if those are on schedule to still drop at a certain time, you've got to think that the film itself is also scheduled to drop at a certain time. Otherwise, you lose out on all those toy sales.
I don't imagine they lose out on much, to be honest, with the toy sales. If the movie gets pushed back a month, maybe 2 months, then it just means that the toys came out a little earlier than intended, you know, and I think people are still going to buy them up. And of course, if that happens, there's going to be far more speculation on what's happening for the actual movie.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they don't have to release the toys. They can actually hold on to these.
Exactly. And part of me thinks that they should. If it's delayed.
It's kind of weird how, you know, a month to 2 months prior to the movie, all this stuff comes out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think it's in good hands, and I just want a good movie. That's all.
It's gotta be some action though. It's gotta be good.
I hope so.
So, our next and last topic for Goody's Guide is Forces of Destiny, which came out this past actually Sunday on YouTube. Now there's 4 episodes out so far. The latest one dropped, I believe, today.
Yeah.
With Ahsoka Tano. And so we have the first 2 episodes were with Rey on Jakku involving BB-8. The first one was her finding BB-8 and helping him back to her place. The second one was encountering some bandits who wanted the droid and escaping them. One of them being Tito, who you see in the movie riding, a half machine, half kind of animal of some sort. The third one is Leia on Endor with Wicket, and the fourth one is Ahsoka Tano, who she's rushing to her Padawan graduation, and she has to stop and help 2 aliens that are being attacked by a rogue robot. So all of them are pretty good. I think the longest one is the last one. It runs 3 minutes 44 seconds. The shortest was the Leia, was 2 minutes and 34 seconds. And I think the actress who did Leia did stellar. It's not Carrie Fisher, but she has acted, voiceover acted for her in the past. And this kind of points us to the spoiler that we talked about, I believe it was last week, how the actress who voices Ahsoka Tano and the guy who does Anakin for the animated series were getting together and doing more work. And it appears that it was 4, which is Forces of Destiny, episode 4, because Anakin and Ahsoka were both in this episode.
Spoiler. Because I haven't seen him yet.
Oh, man.
I'll watch them later when we're done.
They go quick. Like I said, the longest one is 3 minutes 4 seconds. So all quality so far. There is a link in the show notes. Click the link and that takes you to a YouTube page that has all the episodes on it. Go check it out. Keep an eye on that page because these episodes are dropping fairly quickly. Like I said, they just started dropping this past weekend, and we're already on episode 4.
That's pretty cool.
And good luck finding them on TV too.
Yeah, you're not going to. It's all YouTube. You know what threw me is because I was looking for them earlier today, and they didn't label the first one as episode 1.
Right.
They just said what it was, and then there was episode 2, and then 3 and 4, and I'm like, okay, that must be 1, but I'm not sure because the other thing they have listed is just the teaser trailer, and I don't know. So I got a little confused.
Which is easy to do.
Yeah, because I'm not the brightest. All right, so that's what we got there. I don't have anything to review this week. It's just been so crazy with being at Denver, but I just wanted to talk about Denver just for a little bit.
Okay.
What I find fascinating and interesting about Denver Comic Con is it's very different than many other conventions. Denver is put on by what is called Pop Culture Classroom. And Pop Culture Classroom is an organization that uses pop culture, comics, all that stuff to go out and teach kids and adults. We're talking about getting into the prison systems and teaching, the schools, and many other things. I mean, they have a great section at the convention itself with doing crafts and education there. On the Saturday, if you show up and what's that?
They're teaching the inmates crafts?
No, they no, at the convention itself. No, Pop Culture Classroom goes into and they run educational programs in the prisons.
Yes.
And they use the stuff. Well, they're not funny when you have to explain them. So what's neat about this program is that, if you're a teacher and you go on a certain day, typically it's the Saturday, you can get in for free also. there are some colleges that, depending on the panel that you go to, you can get college credit for attending. So that aspect is really, I think really fascinating, and I think really cool, and I think they do a great job with it. This year, however, I felt like it was a little disorganized. They had changed the layout, and I mean, things were just crisscrossing. They had some artists in a section, but they had other artists in another section. You're like, well, how come they're not all together? Then you had a few merchants, and then of course you had, like, Del Rey was there, and you had some of the Valiant Entertainment, Boom Studios, bunch of a few comic companies, and then they had their panels. Del Rey was doing great because they had the author of Inferno Squad there, the author of why can't I think of her name? Captain Phasma. They were there, promoting their book, doing book signings. They signed posters, that kind of stuff. They had other guests also. They had first-time authors. There was some small publishers there. That stuff continues to grow. They had great guests. But when it comes to the guests, it's kind of gotten to the point where before, if you could luck out and get in line, get a wristband because you got there early enough that you could get a signature or a picture. Now it's to the point where if you want a signature from John Cusack was there, or Nathan Fillion, you're paying $110.
What?
Exactly. If you wanted a picture from Felicia Day, you're paying $40. If you want her signature, you're paying $50.
Yeah, well, it's almost like that seems to be the going rate right now.
And that's what I'm starting to notice, is that many conventions now are going to this. You want it, you pay for it.
Yeah.
Instead of, hey, we're here for the fans, we're promoting our stuff. Because I had went and purchased a Cars 3 character, Sterling, played by Nathan Fillion, and I thought, oh, if I can get his signature on that, that'd be awesome, because put it in Liam's room, all that stuff. And I looked at the board and went, oh, prices went up. He wants $110 for a signature. Not happening.
Holy crap!
Yes, not
God.
happening. So
well, that's how some of these guys are making their money now too.
It is, but when you have, I believe when you have certain actors at a certain stature, I see that they don't need to do that. But when you have guys that's what they do, they do the con circuit, then yes, buy their picture and have them sign it, or get, that kind of stuff. I get it. But when you have, like John Cusack, Nathan Fillion, is just the two big names that I'm just thinking off the top of my head that are, working. And then to say, well, if you want my picture, you're going to pay $80, but if you want my signature, it's 110. I think that's a little excessive,
Yeah, I think a prime example of that, we've talked about this before last year after LA Comic-Con. And that was, we stood in line for Lance Hendrickson, Hannah, Suzanne, and myself. Just the pure fact that to get a picture of Lance for, I believe it was her grandmother. Huge Lance Henriksen fan. He was awesome. He was perfect, polite. He goes, yeah, just take a picture. No big deal. You can take a couple candidates while I'm signing stuff, or here, just take a quick picture of me and I'll smile, whatever. And it was awesome. And he offered to sign the back of the badges. I was like, okay. So if you offer, that tells me right there, hey, you know what? It's free. No charge, whatever. He's being really cool. Either, he likes us, or he's just, whatever. And so he goes, yeah, let me sign it. And then we start to walk away. And of course, the convention helps, standing there and going, hey, you guys are going to pay for that, right? What? Yeah. I think they're $20 a pop. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, you don't just offer to sign something for free then charge someone. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it seems like that's the going rate with like the lower level stuff, or I shouldn't say stuff, but lower level people who aren't big anymore, really.
Mm-hmm.
They do stuff, here and there. It ranges, signatures ranging from $20 to $40. You want a picture, sometimes it's free, sometimes an additional $20. But $100, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I remember, when we went to Celebration, you had to buy tickets to get signatures from people, and of course, you had to have. If you didn't have a photo, you had to buy the photo. But there were no $100.
Yeah.
Not even
Exactly.
close.
Exactly. And what was nice too is because like I could walk the floor, and you had comic book authors, writers, so like Fred Van Lente, Jody Hauser, there was Eric, oh, can't remember what his name was, but he writes Eclipse over at Boom. I mean, you got all these guys, and you walk up to them, you chat with them, they'll take a picture with you, they'll sign your stuff for you. And I mean, that's fantastic because I mean, they're promoting their stuff, and they're there for the fans. And that's where I think conventions have kind of gone away from. It's like, we're not here for the fans anymore, because if I go to the convention, hey, I'd charge me $50 a signature, whereas in like, I walk around with my kids, and it's like, hey, so and so does this. We got to talk to oh my gosh, the name escapes me, but we were standing and doing some stuff, and all of a sudden I look over the side, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I says, Ella, I said, do me a favor, go up to him and ask him what voices he does. Okay. And so she was a little nervous, and she finally does it. And all of a sudden, when she does ask him, he goes off on all the voices that he does. I mean, voices from, the Disney stuff that he does, like stuff from DuckTales and from Gummy Bears, and then, stuff from this show and that show. And the name escapes me right now, and it's driving me crazy. But Brian Cummings.
Yeah, he did a Star Wars reading. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he was fantastic. He sat there and talked with us and chatted with us, and that's what a convention is for, to go and meet those people that you just are enthralled with, with their work. And at no time did he push anything. He sat there and just had a conversation with us, and I think that is fantastic. I don't want to pay somebody to have a conversation with. I get some of the reasoning behind it, because there are those people that it's like, I'm going to come in with my 500 comics, I'm going to have them sign them all, and then I'm going to sell them for profit. And it's like, no, I want this for my son, I want this for my daughter, and yeah, I want that one for myself to put up on the wall. I'm not out there to make a quick buck, and I hate that the few ruin it for the many, and it kind of takes the fun out of conventions.
Yeah.
But I loved sitting down and walking up and just talking to Jody Hauser, and then also, at her panel that she was at for Valiant, and a couple of these others that I got to just chat with, even just some of the local artists. That's what it's about. It's about building this community of people, of like-minded people that enjoy this culture. And
yeah,
bums me out.
Unfortunately, the name is becoming I guess true too, is that it's becoming more of a con. Coming in, and they're charging all kinds of prices to take pictures and sign stuff, whereas you still have the people out there. And the one guy, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the artist, but Shark and I talked to him extensively once. We got some Star Wars art from him, but another guy is Tony Fleece. You buy something from the guy, who he's real personable. He'll talk to you, even while he's doing a commission for someone. You pay the guy to draw something you want, he'll draw it, and he'll sign it. If you buy something off his booth, he signs it.
Yeah.
And
that's the way it should be.
Yeah, it's not an extra charge. It's oh hey, but if you want protective sleeves, look, I sell those too, just in case. He's providing a service. but this is how he makes his living.
Exactly. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he draws comics and stuff, but he makes a living by going, from convention to convention, selling his wares pretty much, and
yeah.
This is this way he does.
Yeah,
but you
this
have
is
these
that
other
extra
people.
income.
And I'm going to single out someone because I think Hannah and I think Susanna caught on to it too. We're standing in line for Lance Hendrickson. We see this rough dude show up, and it's like, oh man, that guy looked like he just had one heck of a bender last night. I mean, he looked rough. And finally we noticed, oh my gosh, that's Sean Bean. It's like, he did not look cool. Sunglasses, hat on low, and he just looked like he had a rough night. But there's other people there, who were taking pictures, signing stuff. Who, even the woman from the movie Aliens, not Sigourney Weaver, but the Marine, who is in like T2 and all that stuff, and she was there. She take a picture, not a problem. Took several pictures of her, and she loved it. She's having a good time. But if you wanted signatures, or if you wanted a picture with her, then it was you had to pay a small fee. But they were tiny fees. But this $100 or $120, whatever. I mean, I might have stood in line for John, but for that much, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't either. Yet I can walk around and meet other people, and like you bring up Tony, and when we were at the Salt Lake convention, we had started a little book for Ella, and because she likes the artwork, and she'll go around to these artists and just ask, "Can you sign my book?" And they'll always do a little sketch and sign it. And that's awesome. So, I mean, she's a ton of artists, that have signed her book and done a little sketch. And then as we're doing that, we're looking at their stuff and then going, okay, I think we want that piece. Well, and as we continue to look, we either go back and get it or don't. So, I think it just depends on the personality of that person or their management.
Yeah, that's true.
So
they're getting a cut of it too.
Yeah, so who knows? But that's just what I started to notice. The con itself was very entertaining. It was fun, a little disorganized, I felt, but all in all, it's still a good time. Felt busier than last year, which is fine by me. I'd like it to grow. They still have lots of room within the Denver Convention Center that they can grow to. The only thing I'm asking is, let's get some better panels. There was very few panels that were very interesting to go to. And of course, two of the panels that I went to were for Valiant Entertainment. One of those panels I put up on our YouTube channel had some sound quality issues, but I'm going to get that fixed the next time we do something like this. But, that was fantastic. I had a great time in that panel. You get to talk to the people that are in the room. You get to talk to, because they had Jody Hauser come in, Andy, who is one of the sales manager, runs it, and he just kind of gave an overview of where Valiant is going and what they've done so far, and very good stuff. And if you ever get a chance to see a Valiant panel, I recommend going, because every time it is very easy to earn free stuff. Andy loves to give out books. If you haven't read a Valiant thing, he'll ask, you haven't read anything? And then he'll ask a question, go, here you go, here's so-and-so #1, to kind of introduce you to their product.
Right.
And at the end of it, he go, okay, now everybody, just want to let you know, if you come by our booth and you use the secret word, and he'll tell you a word, then we have a prize for you. So they hand out more books and they hand out more stuff. I mean, I got me my new Valiant hat.
Oh, nice.
I love this thing. The guys that work for Valiant, I'm becoming, and I've said this before, I'm becoming more and more a fanboy of this company. Their writers are fantastic, and if you haven't read their stuff, I recommend reading it. There's many things. If you are looking for something all ages, Faith. Read Faith by Jody Hauser. If you don't know who she is, look on our site. Hannah has done, I think Hannah has reviewed every single Faith book that has pretty much come out. She's done an audio review of some stuff, but Faith is your go-to if you're looking for that sci-fi action, more like the cosmic Exo Mana War, especially the new stuff that's just come out. If you're looking for something like a Wolverine cross with like the Punisher, Bloodshot, there's something for everyone. What I think is fascinating about this company also is that they publish roughly around 6 to 8 books a month, and that's it. They've never missed a deadline, and you can see the quality of work. Their writers are fantastic. Matt Kent, Jeff Lemire, Jody Hauser, Fred Van Lante. You look at some of this stuff that these guys are doing outside of Valiant, you'll go, oh, okay. So I do recommend them. I know I say it all the time, but you absolutely need to. So go check them out if you haven't. And
there usually is at least one panel at every convention that talks about all age comics.
Yes.
I hit the panel that was over at Comic-Con Revolution in Ontario, and we had a blast. Buddy of mine from church, actually one of the pastors there, we had a blast, loved it. But I kept wanting to push one more person who I encountered last year at a convention. I think it was Long Beach. I could be wrong. But Phil Lamar. Phil Lamar does a lot of voiceover stuff. Futurama, the Samurai Jack, Justice League. But this guy is phenomenal because he sits there and he interacts heavily with the fans. He charges minimal stuff for, taking some of the product he has to sign whatever, but he'll take pictures nonstop with people. No charge, no big deal. There's a list of prices, but typically he goes, "Oh, don't worry about it. Just take it. And
That's
everyone's
cool.
going, "Holy crap, this guy is legit." I mean, he is cool. He loves the fans. And he loves what he does. I have to plug him because I've seen him twice now, and each time the guy's just unreal. Love it.
Yeah, and that's what conventions are about. Connecting with your fans and you connecting with those people that you enjoy their work of. So, if you haven't been to a convention, start small, find something local, hit one up, try a big one. Just go for a day, and I think you'll enjoy it, especially if it's something that you're looking to do. So,
and most conventions are pretty easy to get tickets to. Except for San Diego's hard to get tickets to, obviously. If you're out here in the Inland Empire in California, there's every year now we have Comic-Con Revolution. There's Palm Springs Comic-Con in Palm Springs. There's Long Beach. You can go out to Long Beach. There's LA Comic-Con you can hit. There's one in Anaheim. There's stuff all over the place you can really find. There's a calendar, Google search conventions California, and you'll come up with all kinds of stuff. So try something.
It's worth it. It's worth going. I love checking out the artist alley. That's probably one of my favorite parts of going to the conventions. And now the kids like it and the wife likes it as well, and every time we go we try and grab a new piece from an artist. So all right, but enough of conventions. We know where we can find them, but where can we find you?
Well, before we do that, quick review for the Art of Cosplay. We had one drop this morning. Brand new episode. Kendra Collins from Minsk, actually over in Russia. Check her out. Go to the website. Check out the article. Let us know what you think. We have more coming. I have a guy on hold right now who does this dead shot that is just unbelievable. So sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. So I like where this is going, and I can't wait to get more and more of the cosplay stuff going on in here. All right, so where can we find you, Chad?
You can find me on Instagram at DJ Kilt, of course, on my Twitter handle right below here, Chad Griffin 12. and that's on Twitter, and you can find me on Facebook at Chad Goodwin. I've had a few people actually hit me up for friend requests. My page is private. It is not a public page, but send me a friend request. No big deal. I'll accept. So I know. So nice. You can find me on the website, Chad Goody Goodwin. Send me an email, goodygoodwin@constantcollectible.com. Of course, come to our website. Check it out. We got a lot of cool stuff. We have a lot of cool contributors. Simon does a lot of stuff. Hannah does a lot of stuff. We have Susanna, myself, Johnny.
And a couple of the other knuckleheads.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But come check it out. ConstantCollectible.com.
Right on. And of course, I'm Simon. You can find me at Twitter at C_collectible, Instagram C_collectible, and of course, ConstantCollectible.com. You can find us here on our YouTube channel. Again, please, subscribe, like. Don't forget to do that. That way you can keep up to date with the stuff that we've got going on. Because speaking of things that we have going on,
yep,
I'm excited about this. I really am. So we're starting a new segment. We're just going to go. What?
A new show.
Well, yes, a new show. Yeah, that's right. We're starting a new show. Starting July 17th. It will be our first one of 80s film flashback. 80s film flashback will basically be us, the crew, myself, Chad, sometimes maybe Johnny, sometimes Hannah. I think we'll have a revolving door of who comes and joins us, but we will have a review of an 80s film from a perspective that saw it when it came out, and then haven't seen it in a while, to a perspective of maybe I've never seen it, I've never heard of it. This came out of a running joke that you and I had with Hannah, where we would constantly say certain things. She goes, "What's that? Never seen that." And it's like, oh my gosh.
What's that come from?
So 80s film
or
flashback.
The best yet. What's a Blade Runner?
Oh gosh, yes. Thank you, Johnny, for that. Yes, so that's kind of basically how this came about. So 80s film flashback starting Monday, July 17th. We will be live 8 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Mountain, with our new bi-weekly. So we'll go the 17th, we'll skip a week, and then we'll come back that following Monday. And the first film that we're going to review will be Adventures in Babysitting with Elizabeth Shue, Bradley Whitford. There are some great stuff in this film. I cannot wait to see it. I haven't seen it in forever. One of the things that we're also trying to do with this too is that stick to films in the 80s, of course, because it's 80s film flashback, but also films that you can easily access through Netflix, because pretty much majority of everybody has Netflix. Right. There may be one or two films that we have to branch out to go somewhere else, but some of the films that we have lined up, as long as Netflix keeps them, and if you're not sure, I do post on our site under Stream It, what's coming and going from Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon. But some of the films that we've got coming up, we have Adventures in Babysitting. Then, of course, we skip a week, come back for Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh my gosh, and then so good.
Yeah, I know. And then we take a break, and then we have we have films like Can't Buy Me Love, Three Fugitives. Netflix just added Police Academy.
Oh man.
Yes. So there's a lot of 80s films. If you have a suggestion that you see and you'd like us to do, let us know in the comments. Send us an email at constantcollectible@gmail.com. We're looking forward to this one. I cannot wait. I am jazzed for this show. I'm glad that we finally got everything taken care of scheduling wise. And our first guest is actually, you've seen him once or twice or heard him once or twice. We are actually going to have Hannah's brother Logan join us, which will be fun. Yes. So can't wait for it. October is going to be a great one. We got Gremlins and American Werewolf in London scheduled. The only way that we don't do a movie that we say we're going to do is for some reason if Netflix pulls it. So we'll see what happens. But come join us for that. We would love for you guys to watch the film interact with us as we discuss it. We'd love to talk to you about it as we're doing it amongst ourselves and our guests. And it'd be fairly quick. We're thinking maybe a 30-minute show.
Yeah, we do keep track of the live chat. At least one of us does. Yeah. So if you leave a comment, say something. We're gonna pick up on it. I mean, I have it in the corner of my screen constantly. My eyes are going back and forth. I see movement. I just kind of go, wait. But yes, interact with us. We'd love to see you. Well, not see you, but we'd love to hear from you. But I can't wait. This is gonna be an interesting segment, and we've had a lot of people who have volunteered to come on live with us. So I think it's time that, we start calling in these people going, hey, Tony Fleece, okay, you said you'd do one. Come on in. Which would you do? Our regular show, or do you want to do today's flashback? He has an interesting personality, very funny man. I met a couple people at Comic-Con Revolution. They want to jump in. Perfect. So, yeah, I'd like to see some more people come in.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I think it'll be entertaining, and we just want to have a good time, and we'd love for you to have a good time with us. Next week, unfortunately, there is no show because I'm on the road and for a little family vacay, and I'm actually going to go and bother that guy on the other side of the camera for a little bit. And I have an idea for actually doing a small little segment actually on Thursday, because we'll be together on Thursday, and we're just going to work that out. And so hopefully we'll have a little content next week.
Baby. Yeah.
Exactly. So so again, we won't be doing our regular show, but we will probably have a little something going on. So and again, come check out our website. Don't forget to subscribe over there, so keep you up to date with the world of geek culture. And also, like and share and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can keep up to date with our videos. We'd really appreciate that, and we know that it goes a long way. So our email is constantcollectible@gmail.com. We're live every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Mountain. And our website, of course, is constantcollectible.com. We'll be back not next week, but the following week to talk news and reviews in a world of geek culture. And we'll see you then. Thanks for joining us.
Take care, everybody.
Take care of everybody. That's right.